Hey kids, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, whatever time it is for you that you're watching this. So we're going to start back over with this chapter just because we've been doing a little bit of watching of the Men Who Built America series. So this is the expansion of industry. We are talking about the rise of industrialism. We've talked about how that connects to certain things in the past, kind of how we just got done talking about farming and how we're getting ready to talk about immigration and urbanization. So there is a connection. You're going to always want to keep that connection in mind between industrialism, farmers, immigration, and urbanization. So these are some of the things we're going to focus on. Railroads and steam power, the refining of oil, steel, electrical power, machine tools, factory equipment, and then communications. We looked at the factors that caused the industrial boom. One of those factors is the fact that we had lots of natural resources. We have coal, iron, and ore. Coal is used to power steam-powered things, so railroads, machines, anything using steam-powered, you use coal to burn, and then that heats up the water, and then that heats up, or that causes the pistons to move with the steam. We have iron. You mix that with carbon, you get steel, and then you have petroleum or crude oil, and then that's made into a lot of different products we have today. Back then, the most common thing that they used it for at first was kerosene. Number two is the government support for business. We have the government wants businesses to grow. One, it's going to improve the economy, improve the country. It's going to give people more money. And it's going to help out. We didn't really have a lot of taxes on governments at this time. We didn't even have regulations on a lot of them, as you guys learned in the Men Who Built America series. The last thing that we have is a growing urban population. This helps our markets. This helps the businesses sell their stuff, and it also gives them the labor to make their stuff. So we have both of those that urban population helps. We talked a little bit about the Native Americans were the first to use it. This isn't too important, but it's kind of an interesting fact. They found oil and they used it as medicinal purposes. They were pushed off their land, as we've talked about before, by the settlers heading west. The settlers heading west, they were looking for gold. And what they ended up using the oil as was kerosene, as we just mentioned, that they would end up finding. That's what the settlers did. That replaced the whale oil that was used in lamps. So what we have next is this area right here. This is where Titusville, Pennsylvania is. We have an oil boom that's going to start there, and it's going to spread to all of this area right in here. And what's going to happen as a result is you get two things. First, people start trying to find the oil. That's when you have the oil drillers. And then number two, you have people that started to refine the oil. And the main thing they were refining that into was kerosene. That's why John D. Rockefeller right here in Cleveland became so popular, is because he bought up a lot of those refineries and started his own business there that you guys learned about watching those videos. Edwin Drake, he's the first to create a steam engine to drill for oil in Pennsylvania. This is Drake right here. That's his drill behind him there. We get a new oil boom down in Texas starting in the early 1900s. Again, those other ones are more in the 1860s to 1870s. And then this down here in Spindletop, Texas, it's down in this area here. This is where we get a new oil boom that's going to happen in Texas. And